Hey. Oh, okay. How are you? I know that was an abrupt end. I apologize, but it needed to be done, okay? Hey, it's Amy. How are you? Let me see if I can get my camera to kind of... no, I can't. Okay. Come here, camera. Come on, Cambot. All right, Cambot. All right, Cambot. There it goes. Hi. All right. So this is Abombs Playhouse. I am Amy. How's it going? It is a holiday weekend, so I know some of you are probably have been off since like Thursday, but really you haven't been doing any work since like maybe Tuesday around noon. That's cool. It's all good. You made it to the broadcast. So what are we going to do it on the broadcast? We are going to check out this very horrible vintage film. It's called, I believe it's Sex Ed Conditioning for Immorality. This was distributed, I believe, in schools in 1969, I believe. So we are going to learn some stuff. Okay, we're not really going to learn some stuff. We're going to roast the crap out of this because I have a feeling that this is going to have some real bad information. So I figured we would have fun with this. And, you will get your weekend prediction with Cards Against Humanity as well at the end of the broadcast. So let's make it happen. So hold on tight. There it is. Okay, here we go. All right, so it is Sex Ed Conditioning for Immorality. I can already tell this is going to be a doozy. So here we go. Let's do it. Alrighty. Yep. Oh, I have something in my eye already. Oh, shit. Whew.
This is America, land of beauty and richness, of prosperity and abundance. A land where free people work, relax,
By playing basketball, apparently.
and worship, exercising their freedom and meeting their responsibilities in the manner of their own choosing. A land made of people are its strength. Solid, responsible people with strong family, community, and national ties, proud of their heritage and the freedom they enjoy.
Looks a bit white there.
Throughout America's history, the family unit has been the backbone of this great nation, and the family unit still remains the most influential factor in the people's lives. This is especially true with regard to the education and guidance of children. But it is not just the family that exerts influence and has impact on young people. In the home, television, if
that's the
permitted to
TV.
do so, can exert considerable influence on young minds. Eager
I
for
thought there
knowledge,
was a
burning with
fireplace.
natural curiosity of every fact. Outside the home,
Oh.
they are exposed to racks of lewd magazines, posters, and signs,
Oh.
theater marquees.
Oh, theater marquees.
Sexual enticements aimed at the adult mind that can hardly help but stimulate the curiosity of young people.
Whoa.
A strong sense of moral values is vital if impressionable youth are to resist this avalanche of sexual enticements. Providing the training that can create such moral values is a responsibility of the parents. It is not a responsibility that should be neglected, any more than that of providing food, shelter, and clothing. For when parents do shirk these responsibilities, it is the children who suffer. Life is a continuing series of new adventures for children.
Look at that kid
They
suffering.
grow physically and emotionally as they go through the perplexing and difficult years of growing up. And most emerge as fine, responsible young adults, ready to take their place in this society of free people. But an increasing number seem to falter during those difficult years.
Oh, no.
They fall victim to their stimulated curiosity in the sexually saturated atmosphere in which they find themselves.
Sexually
Their lives
saturated.
become permanently scarred by the tragedy.
Ooh.
The number of young people who become
Sorry,
involved
I
in
grabbed my water.
sex-associated tragedies is increasing.
Sex-associated
Many
tragedies?
parents concerned that their
Damn.
children might fall victim next begin searching for an easy answer, a simple solution to the problem. From every direction, articles in slick magazines with circulation in the millions, Life, Look, McCall's,
Yeah,
Saturday
those-
Evening Post, and others,
Those
claim
hussy
that young people
magazines.
lack
Gross.
adequate knowledge in matters of sex, and all appear to urge the same solution: sex education.
Okay. Yeah,
Sex
learn
ed
about it.
courses in the public schools beginning in kindergarten is offered
Kindergarten?
as the panacea for the problem. The advocates of these courses insist that parents are unwilling and too incompetent to educate their own children in the matter of sex, that it must be done by the experts.
I mean, have you seen parents?
They claim that
Some of them?
instructing children in matters of sex is now the responsibility of society, the schools, in simplest terms, the government. For
The
schools are
government.
essentially an agency of the government. So,
The
Once
government's
again,
going to teach your
the
kids
battle
about
lines
sex.
are clearly drawn in the seemingly endless struggle for control between the individual and government, which is
Oh
always
no.
eager to expand
Oh
its
man,
power.
this is already going to be
The
ridiculous. I can
terms
feel it.
sex education and sex courses are misleading to most of today's adults. They recall their school days and biology classes where an explanation of male and female anatomy constituted what was considered sex education. The sex ed courses of today are something radically different.
Uh-oh.
The courses deal with the emotional and psychological aspects of sex,
Okay.
becoming, in fact, lessons in the art of living and loving. Every facet of sexual relations
Oh,
between
no.
people, normal
Not living and loving.
abnormal, is explained
Oh, no.
and explored in vivid detail.
This is going to be
through the use of
homophobic, isn't
movies,
it?
Film strips, photographs, and drawings.
This is going to be homophobic.
Thus,
can
during
feel
their
it.
most impressionable years, children are exposed to every aspect of sex. The advocates of such courses not only insist that children need such information, but also that the information be given without any moralizing, any representation
no.
of right or wrong.
Oh no.
Time of Your Life,
no.
prepared by KQED Instructional Television Service in San Francisco, is a series of films used in schools at the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade levels. The series is designed to be broadcast directly into the classroom on special TV channels. The national distribution rights to Time of Your Life were recently assigned to NIT, National Instructional Television Center in Bloomington, Indiana. Apparently, this tax-exempt group with offices in San Francisco, Milwaukee, and Boston is better equipped to get Time of Your Life into more schools. The following excerpt describes sexual intercourse for groups of boys and girls as young as age 9. Quote, "When a couple has sexual intercourse, they are usually lying down very close to each other and usually in a bed. They usually start by kissing and holding each other.
Oh, that's
Each
how it
person,
goes?
the husband and the wife, gets a very strong feeling of love
Oh.
for the other and excitement in being together. The man's penis has an erection and the woman's vagina becomes moist or wet.
You
At this
said
point,
moist.
as the couple
I
is
don't-
lying very close together, and because the penis of the
I'm
man
gonna
is
guess the
designed by
moist.
nature to fit into the vagina of the woman, the man gently but firmly pushes his penis into his wife's vagina."
Don't.
End quote. Goes on to describe how for its audience of impressionable, curious 9 to 12-year-old boys and girls. While NIT, the distributor of Time of Your Life, is anxious to relay the mechanics of sexual intercourse to children, they do an abrupt about-face when it comes to the parents. Apparently, only those whom the distributor classifies as officials of schools planning to embark on a sex ed program may preview the films. National Instructional Television Center is headquartered in Bloomington, Indiana, at 317 East 2nd Street, with sales offices in Boston, Milwaukee, and San Francisco. Parents viewing this film are invited to contact NIT direct and attempt to obtain Time of Your Life for viewing.
I have a feeling it's not
Time of
for
Your Life is not unique in sex
checking out
courses in
viewing to
public
make
schools
sure it's
across
good.
America. Many films,
I have a feeling
just
it's
as graphic,
a lot of
just as vivid, expose youth to every phase
shitty
of
parents going,
sexuality.
"You're not going to teach my kid
However,
nothing."
films are but a part of these courses. Occasionally, students in some classes, rather than just being observers, actually participate in classroom demonstrations of the art of living and loving.
What?
Parents in
No.
Madison Heights, Michigan were outraged
Madison
to
Heights,
learn
Michigan.
that during a sex ed course in a local school, a group of boys and girls in their teens were herded into a darkened room and then told to touch, feel, and embrace each other.
No.
After the
No,
lesson,
they
they were
didn't.
asked to write about the sensations they had felt.
No, they
In Flint,
didn't.
Michigan, a local
Flint!
sex educator became so engrossed with the subject that she stripped in front of her class.
No,
In
she
response to
didn't.
complaints from local parents, the school board praised the teacher and said her intentions were in the best interests of her class.
That did not happen in Flint, Michigan. I'm from
Young
Flint,
people
Michigan. There's
subjected
no
to
way.
the sex ed courses are quizzed to see just how well they are learning their lessons.
Oh,
The following
no.
questions are from a nationally distributed sex knowledge quiz for teenagers beginning in the 9th grade. Number 15. When she is sexually excited, a woman's clitoris may be noticeably enlarged and quite firm. What is likely to happen to the enlarged clitoris as the woman progresses in sex desire to readiness for sex relations? Number 18.
Okay.
Of the following, which is the best position for sex relations?
Hey, what is it? What are
Number
the
46.
answers?
When consistently and intelligently used as directed by a competent authority, which of the following is an effective method of birth control? Number 72.
Oh yeah, this would be
What is the
before.
effect of masturbation on sex desire,
This would
on
be
capacity
before
to
Roe v.
reach
Wade.
orgasm,
That was in
and on
73.
ability to cause pregnancy or to become pregnant later in life? Questions from the students are encouraged, and the stimulated curiosity of young minds can run rampant. Following are a few of the questions placed in their classroom question box by students in the sex ed courses in an Anaheim, California high school.
This ought to be good.
What happens to a girl who gets PG by a donkey? How does it happen? Does she have a baby or what?
What kid wrote that?
What is the sexual act of
No.
homosexuals?
So.
What do you do when the penis gets caught in the vagina?
Cut it off.
Exactly what does 69 mean?
Yeah.
These questions illustrate the stimulated curiosity of young people, and all their questions on sex are answered in vivid detail. But
Vivid detail. Stop
without
it.
any foundation
Stop
of the
it.
morality
No.
that is the basis for any solid personal and family life.
Ugh.
In the March 1969 issue of American Opinion magazine, Dr. Max Levin, the noted New York psychiatrist, is quoted concerning such a baseless approach to the subject of sex. There cannot be emotional health in the absence of high moral standards and a sense of human and social responsibility. I know that today morality is a dirty word, but we must help our youth to see that moral codes have meaning beyond theology. They have psychological and social. There is an enormous gap between courses for youth, which offer anatomical studies of the human body, and courses that describe in words and with visual aids how to perform the ultimate acts of
Visual
sex.
aids.
A logical question would be, who is it that seems so anxious to gain control and manipulate the thinking of American youth in the matter of sex?
Let me guess. Is it the
Just
government?
who is promoting the sex ed courses?
Is it the government?
Most of the community leaders and others who seem to favor moving sex instruction from the home to the schoolhouse are undoubtedly sincere, concerned, and upset. They are disturbed over the problems they see, and in their concern, accept the solution being offered by the sex ed experts. But across the nation, a large and rapidly expanding number of groups and organizations, national and local, have mushroomed up from nowhere and are trumpeting the demand for sex education in the schools. They present a maze of confusion, but an examination of the material used by many of these groups and the people who control the groups is very revealing. A close look shows that one group turns up time after time. SIECUS, Sex Information and Education Council of the United States, with headquarters in New York City. SIECUS, formed in 1964 by a small band of like-minded sex ed advocates, enjoys tax-exempt privileges, has received
They gotta throw
billions
that
of
in there.
dollars from tax-exempt foundations, and the United States government. In just a few years, this New York City-based organization has become clearly the most influential group working to move control of sex instruction from
Notice
the
that they
home
give
to the school.
addresses. Like, oh, you just have
SIECUS
addresses. when you
publishes
do
a
that.
newsletter, numerous pamphlets, and by recommendation puts its stamp of approval on a wide range of books, pamphlets, teachers' guides, and films. The individuals who control SIECUS seem to turn up constantly as advisors, consultants, and even directors of many of the other groups of sex ed advocates.
Oh, wait, I changed my answer. Is it homosexuals?
Heading SIECUS as executive director is Dr. Mary S. Calderon, a founder of SIECUS after 11 years as medical director of the Planned Parenthood Federation of America.
Oh, here we go.
Dr. Calderon, described
Here
by
we
Saturday
go.
Evening Post as a sweet-faced, silvery-haired grandmother with the evangelical fervor of Joan of Arc, travels the length and breadth of America, again in the words of the Saturday Evening Post, to preach the SIECUS gospel to representatives of the local power structure. This is the Dr. Calderon who, speaking to a group of several hundred young boys at Blair Academy in New Jersey, declared, "What is sex for? It's for fun, that I know, for wonderful sensations. Sex is not something you turn off like a faucet."
Okay.
This is the same Mary Calderon who has proclaimed that the "thou shalt nots" no longer apply.
What?
Feeling thusly, it is not surprising to discover that she is
She didn't say all
strongly
that.
opposed to moral concepts of right and wrong being included in the sex ed courses she advocates.
Oh my gosh.
One might reject Dr. Calderon's so-called logic, even question her sincerity, but to overlook
This
her
narrator.
importance would be tragic. For this sweet-faced, silvery-haired grandmother is an amazingly effective super saleswoman for the sex ed promoters. Dr. Lester A. Kirkendall, a professor at Oregon State University, is another of the roving band of sexologists promoting the SICUS brand of sex ed for youth. Kirkendall reportedly believes that any absolute moral standards are unthinkable, except for the absolutism of non-restraint. In numerous speeches, he stresses that sex education for youth must not be moral indoctrination. In some ways, Dr. Kirkendall is a very practical person. On the question
Because he's
of
a
how
white
to
man,
get
right?
the courses into the schools over the objections of local parents who supply the children and the money, Dr. Kirkendall's advice is to, quote, just sneak it in, end quote. Another key pulpiteer for SICUS is Dr. Isidore Rubin, one of the founders of SICUS.
Okay.
He has also been its treasurer since its inception. Dr. Rubin is in the sex promoting business in a big way. He is editor of Sexology magazine. This monthly bit of blatant hardcore sex exploitation features articles with titles such as Sex Pleasure from Cruelty, The Need for Sex Variety, Sex Relief for Widows, Secrets of Lovemaking, and many more.
Sounds amazing.
The earlier discussed Dr. Kirkendall is also on the staff of Sexology
All right.
as parent guidance editor, and recently stated that with a change of cover and title, Sexology would be suitable for use in his brand of sex ed courses for the schools. Reverend William Genet, Dr. John Money, and Dr. Wardell Pomeroy, each an influential member of the SICUS group, along with Dr. Kirkendall, occupy 4 of the 11 positions as consultants on Sexology magazine. This list of consultants with their strings of degrees may be impressive to some people. But magazine stand operators
professionals.
place Sexology magazine right where it belongs, with the nudie, lewd, smut magazine.
Nudie lewd smut magazines.
Dr. Isidore Rubin, treasurer of SICUS and editor of Sexology, is the same Isidore Rubin fired from a teaching position in New York City schools when he refused to deny or confirm his membership in the Communist Party.
Oh, I
The
knew you
same
were going to
Isidore
go there.
Rubin, who was editor of
Damn
New
Reds.
York Teacher News, published
Come
by the
on,
New York
man.
Teachers Union, expelled from organized labor by the CIO, Congress of Industrial Organizations, as being communist-controlled. And the same Isidore Rubin, who, in this congressional report, is identified as a dues-paying member of the Communist Party in sworn testimony by Mrs. Mildred Blofeld, a New York Police Department undercover agent within the Communist Party.
Sure. Okay.
Rubin, Kirkendall,
Oh no, not the communists.
Calderon,
Oh,
and
the
their
communists are going to
cohorts
get you.
crisscross
Oh,
the
the
nation,
communists.
constantly expounding the SICUS slant. In speeches, interviews, and articles extolling the virtues of detailed sex courses
golly.
with no holds barred. Sweden is their most often cited example of how
Yeah,
an enlightened
Sweden.
nation meets the problem of preparing youth to accept the responsibilities of life. Let us look
Oh,
closely
shit.
then at their example. The people of Sweden labor under the heaviest taxes in the world because the government and their welfare state
You
has
know, this all
grasped
sounds familiar,
responsibility
doesn't
for
it?
all the basic necessities
All these
of life.
right-wing politicians
government is
always
productive,
jump on
the
Sweden's
handouts can be
case.
given
Like,
only
oh,
by
you're always
seizing
taxed
from
by
the people
Sweden.
through taxation the
Yeah,
wealth
well,
they are producing.
You get full
Sex
health
instruction
care.
in Sweden schools began over 20 years ago
Free
and was
college.
introduced through the classic two-step method.
People don't
First,
shoot each
the
other,
courses
you know.
were completely voluntary.
Fuck Sweden,
within a
right?
decade,
What?
They had become compulsory. Sex instruction starts with kindergarten. Every emotional,
Kindergarten.
psychological aspect of sex
Come
is
on.
presented, but without the introduction of any moral concepts of right and wrong. Sexual intercourse between unmarried young people is presented as acceptable. Masturbation is not only acceptable, but a desirable means of relieving tension. Having an illegitimate baby is nothing to be ashamed of. Youths are instructed in use of every manner of contraceptive device and may obtain them without cost.
Yeah.
But moral concepts of right and wrong, rejected.
Because that's arbitrary.
Birgitta
What the
Lina,
fuck?
Swedish authoress of Sex and Society in Sweden, is often quoted in the United States as an outstanding authority on sex ed in Sweden. Her book is an enthusiastic endorsement of the system, but she admits that there are still a few problems. In Sweden, 1 of every 3 brides is pregnant on her wedding day. Of every 8 babies born in Sweden, 1 is illegitimate.
Oh, no.
Think of that.
Uh-huh.
1 of every 3 brides is pregnant on her wedding day.
What?
And
Who
of every
cares?
8 babies born in Sweden, 1 is illegitimate.
Why would you slow down and say that?
Dr.
Give me a
Kirkendall,
break, dude.
writing in the preface to Sex and Society in Sweden, concurs with Mrs. Liener's conclusion that the sex courses in the schools of Sweden have not encouraged young people to experiment in matters of sex. Unless pregnancy in Sweden is brought about by some means other than intercourse, Mrs. Liener's and Dr. Kirkendall's conclusion concerning sexual experimentation by the youth of Sweden is absolutely incredible. Venereal disease among young people in Sweden has been described as catastrophic. New cases of gonorrhea increasing over 100% in just 6 increasing over 600% in the same period. Hardest hit have been girls in the 15 to 19-year-old age group. This is the other side of the coin to the example our sex ed
Pretty
promoters
sure
cite.
they're making those up.
If this is what American parents want for their children,
Oh,
tragic
no.
example of Sweden clearly shows that sex ed courses in the schools will help bring it about. Audio visuals for sex ed courses in the schools has become big business. As if by magic and almost overnight, a deluge of films, film strips, and slide presentations have appeared. This should not be surprising, for the law of supply and demand actually works. As demand for a product or service increases, producers respond automatically by increasing the supply.
So capitalism.
Supply
Yeah?
always adjusts itself in response to any change in the demand.
Economics.
The demand for audio visuals to teach America's youth about sex is growing rapidly. But is this growth in demand a natural phenomena or the results of some artificial stimulation?
What?
This colorful and highly professional brochure
This is
describes for
1969,
school
I believe.
administrators the many films available from Guidance Associates, a division of Harcourt, Brace, and World. It also hastens to point out that any and all of the films listed may be purchased by schools under various federal aid to education programs. The Elementary and Secondary Education Act, Titles 1, 2, 3, National Defense Act, Title 3, and the Vocational Education Act. It is government who is stimulating the demand.
I
for
knew it was the
sex ed
government.
films by
I knew
offering
it.
to the schools
I
millions
knew
of
it.
tax dollars.
Always blaming the
specifically
government.
designated for the purchase of audio visuals.
With things like this.
Rushing to fill
Never
this
the stuff
artificially
to
stimulated
blame on the
increase in
government.
demand
It's
for sex ed
always
films
bullshit like this.
Are many of America's largest corporations,
Oh, and corporations, I knew it.
IBM,
Those
3M,
bastards.
and Harcourt, Brace, and World, are but a few. In a wild scramble to grab a share of the multi-million-dollar market, they pour forth this deluge of films, film strips,
Sure.
and slide presentations. Sex, a moral dilemma for teenagers. A film strip from Guidance Associates is cleverly designed to help convince young people that they need sex instruction free from parental control. Listen closely to the message it presents to young people.
All right, let's listen. Sounds like the Pink Panther. The
I
Pink.
wish I could approach my parents on the topic, but I just can't.
Well, morality is really a set of rules that society has set up. And these rules were set up a long time ago. And the same with the sex rules. They were set up by society and they're ridiculous. They have no meaning for me because really the advances in science and medicine and everything like that, it just makes the whole thing ridiculous.
Morality for so long has just, been what it is, and people have accepted it. But now our generation has changed. We don't accept it anymore, and we try and bring it out in the open where it should be. But people like our parents and things, they don't accept that because we're breaking that morality. But I think it's right that we should bring it out in the open.
The message it presents is clear. Parents do not understand their children and cannot help them with their problems or answer their questions.
Certain
Present moral
parents.
standards are outmoded and completely new standards are needed. This is the SICUS slant. However, this should not be too surprising.
My name is Mary S. Calderon. I'm a physician.
Dr. Calderon, executive director of SICUS, narrates and was consultant for the film. In films from company after company, the SICUS slant appears. But in every phase of the spread of sex ed courses, another, and even more ominous presence is noted. Government, by giving tax dollars to
I knew
groups
it.
such as SICUS,
The
has
government.
been instrumental in promoting the idea that sex instruction courses are needed.
That
in the
sex can be
schools.
fun. Yeah, that's sex.
Government.
No,
by
no, the
giving tax
government.
dollars for the purchase of audio
Oh,
visuals
more government.
has stimulated the demand and thus triggered the production of
The
films for the
government.
sex instruction courses.
The government.
Government,
Oh,
with
more
tax
government.
dollars, was instrumental in creating NIT,
No, the
the
government.
largest distributor of films for classroom TV broadcasting. Prior to September 1968, NIT was
I love
known
how these
as the National
conservatives
Center for
are
School and
always
College Television,
trying to get
and
into the
received
government
direct government subsidies in
to be in
1965,
control as the
1966,
government,
and
but also hating the
1967 from
government
Department of Education.
for governmenting
Promotion,
and
production,
helping citizens.
and distribution.
What a government should do.
The hand of government influence is in each.
Government.
In a society of free men and women, the exercising of self-restraint is the key to responsible freedom. Free men and women choose to not do certain things, some from fear of punishment, but most because of their moral concept of right and wrong. Sex instruction, without the presentation of moral concepts of right and wrong, provides knowledge and
Whose moral
stimulation for
concepts?
impressionable youth without providing the moral reasons why they should exercise self-restraint in matters of sex.
Pretty sure in these moral
Such
things
courses
it's,
become
you know,
conditioning.
very
that
homophobic.
enables young people to accept the rampant sexual immorality of the hippie world as a way of life.
Oh, and hippies. Ah, damn
A
it,
foot
the
in the
hippies.
door is usually the first step for the promoters of the sex courses, and they go to almost any lengths to achieve this vital first step. They know that the courses once gotten into the schools can be updated, modified, and expanded to just what they desire. Occasionally, they attempt to move on a statewide basis. In January 1969, during the 47th General Assembly in Colorado, State Representatives Mullen, Cooper, Hamilton, Lamb, and J.E. Newman introduced House Bill number 1082, which would make sex education courses mandatory for all public schools in Colorado. However, the most intensive sex course promotion is aimed at the local school district level. This type of piecemeal expansion enables the sex courses to penetrate into a rapidly growing number of schools while the promoters face only local, usually unorganized opposition. What the sex ed promoters fear most is a nationwide surge of awakened and aroused parents. Parents who oppose their goals and
Whoa.
are willing to join in the battle to determine who is to control the training
kind
of
of
young
aroused?
people in matters of sex. To join in this battle and to be effective requires knowledge as well as concern. Go to your local schools and see if sex ed courses are being presented.
Doesn't that sound
The
familiar?
courses you should look for go under numerous names.
Go to your local
Life adjustment courses, family life education.
school board
Family living
meetings and
courses,
yell about
and many
masks, right?
Sometimes sex instruction is presented not as a separate course, but as a part of social problems, physical education, and of course biology. Find out just what is being presented in your local schools. Whether courses in the art of living and loving have gotten into your schools or not, look for and join with others in your
Those
community
damn
who share your
hippies and those
concerns.
communists.
Concerted action will
And the
increase your
government.
chances of getting such courses out and keeping them out of your schools. But freedom is a two-sided coin. Rights are but one side. Responsibilities are the other. To demand the freedom to exercise a right and then not attempt to meet the corresponding responsibility is not responsible freedom. Parents should assist their children to understand the normal, but often mystifying, physical and emotional changes in life. This means
Mystifying.
answering questions at the time they are asked, at the level of maturity of the child, and providing that vital moral concept of right and wrong in the question of sexual activities. If
Yes,
to meet this
because back in the
responsibility requires
60s,
that
parents were
read some
known
books
to
and otherwise
talk to their
invest a
kids
little of
like
their
that.
time,
Sure.
That is the
Right.
demand that freedom makes. For every right, a responsibility. Youth of today will become the leaders of tomorrow. How well they are able to lead when their day arrives depends to great extent on how their parents met the responsibilities of parenthood. Our children have been entrusted into our care. The struggle continues between those who believe in parental responsibilities and those who seek to seize control of the thinking of America's youth. Join in this struggle today, for the future of your children
Join in the struggle
and your
today.
nation is at stake.
That is some fear-based bullshit. Wow. Oh boy. Oof. You know, no wonder some of our boomer parents are all kinds of mixed up. What the hell was that? Wow. Okay, wow. Thank you for joining me for that. Sex Ed Conditioning for Immorality, a film strip from 1969. As you could probably tell, a lot of that still appears in some conservatives' mindset today. It doesn't change. They still want to make sure that people do not get proper health information, including sexual health. I wonder why, right? Also, I'm of the school of thought that if you teach someone proper language and proper scientific knowledge and facts, then they're not easily duped into doing something that they don't want to do. Meaning, if let's say you tell your kid that his penis is, a no-no noodle or something. And if, let's say, hopefully this never happens, but an adult touches him inappropriately, he doesn't have the language to tell another adult what happened. So he goes to, let's say, a teacher and says, Mr. Johnson touched me on my no-no noodle. Well, then the teacher doesn't know, like, what do you mean by that? What's going on here? So there's a lot of muddiness and murkiness. And I will have to say that it is known that a lot of, like, court issues, court problems do come up. Like, lawyers will take, oh, well, he didn't mean that. He meant his elbow or something because he didn't use the proper word. So, like, yeah, I'm of the school of thought that you teach them young, that's a vagina, that is a penis, da-da-da-da-da. Like, there you go. And don't make it a big friggin' deal, man. Calm down. But anyway, that's my school of thought. And thank you for joining me for that, because, that was a doozy. So let's get your weekend prediction, shall we? You know what? I didn't grab the cards, so let's do that now. So here I go. I'm going to take my headphones off, and we're going to see if my camera rolls with me. Ooh, is it going to roll with me? Oh, it's not. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. Cambot. It's okay if you don't want to roll with me. That's fine. Okay, so let me pick 3 cards. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Oops. Hold on. I thought I had... All right. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I try not to look at them, but I got a peep of 1, okay? So I apologize for that. All right, so I got your Cards Against Humanity right here. This is your weekend prediction for Memorial Day weekend, so it's a long one. So let's do it. So the first thing that's going to be in your weekend, according to Cards Against Humanity, that would be genuine human connection. How nice. Actually, that's pretty nice. I like that one. That's a nice card. Okay, all right. But we all know Cards Against Humanity is going to get a little crazy. So here we go. Oh, okay. Next thing that's going to be in your weekend, that would be concealing a boner. Okay, sure. Yep, all right. We had a good card, and then we have this card. All right, the last thing that's going to be in your weekend, according to Cards Against Humanity. What the fuck? God? Don't worry, it doesn't exist. You're fine. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, will ya? It is a holiday weekend. A lot of y'all take chances and get a little cray-cray. So calm down. All right. I want to see you on Monday and Tuesday, so please make it through. Speaking of Monday, if you are around, definitely check out my YouTube channel because every Monday afternoon, I release the start of the week, which is kind of a rundown of like a few news stories that are going on. I make fun of stuff and we have a good old time. And I try to make those videos like around 5 minutes or less. So don't worry, I'm not going to bore the shit out of you. I promise. So check those out. Those are every Monday afternoon on my YouTube channel. You can check it out anytime you want. And thanks for attending. I appreciate you. And I hope that you are excellent to each other while the weekend is going on. And we will talk to you again Friday, same time. Well, no, actually, I take that back. Because Friday, we are not going to do a broadcast. We are going to go to, it's called Gypsy Goddess Fest. I am emceeing the event, and it's all weekend. So Friday, I'm going to be traveling there and having a good old time. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I don't have Facebook, fuck that. You can follow me at Amy Burke Abomb. That's on both either Twitter or Instagram. You can do that. And I would appreciate you. And yeah, thanks. All right, cool. All right, have a wonderful one and be excellent to each other. Bye-bye.